Hello, everyone. Welcome to day 10 entitled Praised. Today, we want to talk about how Jesus wants us to be free to be authentic. And in order to be free to be authentic, we have to pay attention to our inner motivation. It's one of the hardest things to do. It's really difficult to confront the truth of why we do what we do. But I cannot shy away from asking myself, what is the fullness of my motivation for doing this thing if I really want to be authentic? I remember when my wife was pregnant with our first child, I told myself, I'm going to be an amazing husband. I'm going to be totally present to my wife. I'm going to be willing to go out at 2 a.m. for a cheeseburger. I'm going to be tolerant of any house temperature. I'm going to be super doting, and I'm never going to complain about it. And I'm never going to make her feel bad about it. And I lived up to it. I was doing it all. I was doing the shoulder rubs. I was doing the temperature thing. I was doing all that stuff. But a few months into it, I started to notice an internal frustration, annoyance, bordering on resentment starting to build. My wife would ask me for a shoulder rub or to turn the temperature down right after she just told me to turn it up, or she would even ask me to leave the room because my chewing was quote unquote too loud. And I would acquiesce to it all. And I would do it to the best of my ability with a smile on my face. But inside, I was experiencing some negative emotion. And I was experiencing negative emotion because in the beginning of the pregnancy, my wife, she was lavish with her praise. But then as time kind of moved on, as the discomfort of the pregnancy started increasing, maybe even as she started to take it for granted, all the things that I was doing, her praise and her gratitude for me started drying up. And as her praise and as her gratitude, at least articulating her gratitude, as that dried up, my negative emotions started to increase and rise to the surface. My enthusiasm for serving her started to drop. Why? Because a part of me, not all of me, but a significant part of me was acting generously because of the benefits I received, the benefits of praise and verbalized gratitude, especially in the presence of other people. All of me wasn't doing it purely out of the goodness of my heart. I was doing it in part for the reward. And so I was kind of stuck. I was stuck in this spot of negative emotion because there wasn't a world in which I was going to stop doting on my wife, or a world in which I was going to make her feel bad for asking me to do stuff for her while she was pregnant. But I also couldn't deny that being selfless and serving her was starting to make me feel drained and frustrated. I wasn't going to stop what I was doing, but I also really didn't want to keep feeling what I was feeling. And this is a trap a lot of Christians fall into. We're told to love, we're told to give, we're told to serve, but we aren't really told what to do or what it means when we do those things we're told to do, and we end up feeling resentful, frustrated, or have some sort of negative emotion toward the person we're supposedly loving or serving or giving to. And we're not told, kind of what's up with that. So let me correct that now, or at least try to. If you're serving selflessly, if you're doing what you think you're called to do, if you're doing what your duty demands and you have negative emotion toward the person who's asking you to do it, know this: there's nothing wrong with you. You're not bad. You're not rotten. It's not like you're no longer cut out for doing whatever it is that you're doing. What you are is wounded. What you are you're feeling out of a place of pain. At the core of your frustration or your resentment or your negative emotion is actually one of three beliefs. One, if I don't say yes, or if I don't do this, then this person won't love me, or worse yet, they'll leave me. Two, if I don't say yes, if I don't do this, then the person will get mad at me and will punish me for failing them. Number three, if I don't do everything I can, if I don't pour myself out completely, then I'm a failure, and someone who really matters to me won't be proud of me. In other words, we go and serve because we don't want to lose love, because we want to avoid punishment, or because we want to make someone proud of us. And how are we supposed to know if the person isn't going to leave us, if they're not going to punish us, or if they're proud of us? We only know if they articulate it, if they say it, if they praise us. So you start to feel negative emotion as it relates to serving someone, because there's an inner part of you that is like, well, wait a minute, I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do, and yet you're probably going to leave me, or you're probably going to get mad at me and punish me, or I clearly don't make you proud. I'm clearly not satisfying a need for you. And so you start to get frustrated because it's totally unfair. It's totally unfair for you to pour yourself out and for you to get left, get punished, or to not have someone be proud of you. And so you start to feel this emotion, and it's a part of you that's trying to protect you from the pain of these other things. So the temptation of the litany, when you start to feel negative emotion, is to believe that you just need to stop feeling resentment and just be joyfully selfless. You just need to give. But the truth is, you'll never joyfully serve until you understand, validate, and find healing for the wound that exists at the core of the need to be praised, of the need to be acknowledged, of the need to be shown public gratitude for what you're doing and for how you're serving and for how you're loving and for how you're giving. The temptation of the litany is to think, I just need to stop caring about whether or not I get praised. When the reality is, the litany is actually inviting you to really understand why you care so much about getting praised, and to find healing for that need or that fear within you. So today, what you're asking for deliverance from is actually the fear of exploring the source of your negative emotion, of confronting it directly. And as always, if you want to explore that with someone, if you want to explore the core of your negative emotion, I'm here. So, from the desire to be praised, deliver me, Jesus.